How can you have fresh organic food right at home without spending too much time and effort? The answer lies in perennial plants. Instead of buying seeds and replanting every season, you only need to invest once in the right plants, and they will continue to grow and produce year after year. Not only do they provide a steady food supply, but they also quietly improve your soil, making your garden more fertile and sustainable over time. In today's video, we'll explore 5 of the most valuable perennial plants that don't decline with time, but actually become more productive. Make sure to watch until the end, because plant number 5 might surprise you. It can produce around 22 to 44 pounds of food every year with little to no replanting. If you're ready to start building a sustainable food source for your family at home, subscribe to the channel and follow along on this journey. Don't forget to comment where you're from. This not only helps me understand you better, but also helps you connect with others who share the same goals, exchange experiences, and grow your gardens together. 1. Asparagus, an investment of patience. Let's start with a plant I call the king of patience, asparagus. If you shop at American supermarkets, you'll know asparagus is often one of the most expensive items on the produce shelf. But in your own garden, it's a gift of longevity. Once established, a well-cared-for patch can yield about 20 to 30 pounds of spears per 100 square feet every year. You only need to plant it once, and it will feed you for 20, even 30 years. Asparagus thrives in USDA climate zones 3 through 8. It really loves the winter cold to rest and recharge. If you're in a warmer climate, be sure to choose a heat-tolerant variety. But why is it an essential for your health? Besides its convenience, it's a rich source of nutrients packed with folate and vitamin K. Fresh asparagus spears grilled with a little olive oil have a sweet, crisp taste that store-bought varieties can't match. They are often lost during transport. To succeed, treat it like a marathon, not a sprint. For the first 2 years, we shouldn't harvest. Let the asparagus shoots grow into beautiful, lush foliage so the plant can focus all its energy on building a strong and healthy root system. The secret lies in soil preparation. Asparagus doesn't like wet feet, so ensure well-drained soil with a pH of 6.5 to 7.0. Prepare the soil properly once, and you're building a culinary legacy. Each spring, when those first shoots emerge, nature is rewarding your patience. Don't rush, and you'll enjoy delicious, high-yield meals for a lifetime. 2. Strawberries. A sweet gift every summer. While most people simply think of them as a summer treat, as a professional gardener, I see them as one of the hardest-working, most productive ground covers you can own. Unlike typical annual garden crops that require you to start from scratch every year, strawberries are resilient perennials. They have this incredible ability to spread via runners, thin stems that reach out and root themselves, essentially planting their own future generations for you year after year. Let's talk climate, because versatility is where this plant shines. Strawberries are remarkably tough, thriving across USDA zones 3 through 10. Whether you are dealing with a brisk Minnesota winter or a humid Florida summer, there is a variety built for you. The key is light. They demand at least 6 to 8 hours of full, direct sun to develop those sugars. If you're in a warmer region, providing a little afternoon shade can prevent the plants from stressing during peak heat. But why is this a must-have for your health? Homegrown strawberries are a vitamin C goldmine. But more importantly, they are a win for food safety. Year after year, strawberries consistently top the Dirty Dozen list for high pesticide residue in commercial farming. When you grow them yourself, you're cutting out the chemicals and getting pure organic antioxidants right off the vine. The flavor difference isn't just noticeable, it's significant. Don't let your patch get too crowded. I recommend spacing your initial plants about 18 inches apart to give them room to breathe and expand. And here's the secret to longevity. Mulch them with clean straw, hence the name strawberry. This simple step keeps moisture in the soil, suppresses competing weeds, and most importantly, keeps your heavy fruit off the bare dirt where it could rot. Manage those runners, keep the soil rich with organic matter, and you'll have a permanent carpet of sweetness that pays for itself every single summer. A healthy patch can produce around 5 to 1 pound per plant each season, or roughly 10 to 15 pounds from a small bed annually. It's simple, it's sustainable, and it's a long-term source of fresh food for your family. If your daughter loves strawberries, comment ready and start a small patch at home, because after just one season, you'll see how worth it really is. And don't go anywhere. In the next part, I'll reveal an even more powerful perennial one that can produce harvests for decades with almost no replanting. This is the part you won't want to miss. 3. Brambles. A food hedge. I used to underestimate brambles. A few years ago, I planted raspberries along the edge of my yard, thinking they'd be a simple, low-effort crop. I didn't research pruning, didn't install a trellis, and honestly, just let them grow wild. By the second year, what I had wasn't a food hedge. It was a tangled, thorny mess. The canes were overcrowded, airflow was poor, and the harvest small, inconsistent, and frustrating. I remember standing there one morning, scratched up from trying to pick berries, thinking this plant wasn't worth it. But the truth was, the mistake wasn't the plant. It was my approach. Once I understood how brambles actually grow, everything changed. Their roots are perennial, but the canes are biennial. They need a simple cycle of renewal. So I cut back the old, spent canes that winter. I installed a basic T-post trellis to lift the new growth off the ground. I gave them space, sunlight, and just a bit of structure. The following season, the same patch transformed. What was once chaos became order. The berries were bigger, sweeter, and easier to harvest. And the yield, it jumped dramatically, easily 1 to 2 pounds per plant, adding up to 15 to 25 pounds. So from that small corner of my yard. And here's what I didn't realize at first. Brambles actually thrive in a wide range of climates. Most varieties do best in USDA zones 4 through 8, and they benefit from a cold winter to set fruit properly. If you live in a warmer area, certain blackberry varieties can even handle up to zone 10 as long as they get full sun and slightly acidic, well-drained soil. That's when it clicked. Brambles don't need constant work. They need the right work once a year. If you've ever felt like giving up on a plant because it got out of control, you're not alone. I've been there. But with raspberries and blackberries, a small correction turns them into one of the most productive, self-sustaining crops you can grow. Sometimes the difference between failure and abundance is just one season of doing it right. 4. Perennial herbs. The family medicine cabinet. Number 4 on our list is what I call the backbone of both the garden and the kitchen. Perennial herbs. I'm talking about the power players like rosemary, thyme, sage, and oregano. While most gardeners waste money buying new herb pots every spring, the secret to a high-value garden is planting these once and letting them become permanent fixtures in your landscape. These herbs are the ultimate survivors. Most thrive in USDA zones 5 through 9, though some, like rosemary, may need a little extra protection in the harsh northern winters of zone 5 or 6. They are Mediterranean by nature, meaning they love well-draining soil and can handle drought like champions once their roots are deep. In fact, the more you neglect them by not overwatering, the more concentrated and potent their essential oils become. In the kitchen, these are your primary tools for flavor, allowing you to cut back on salt and sugar. But medically, they are a gold mine. Rosemary is linked to improved memory and focus. Thyme is a natural antiseptic, and sage is packed with antioxidants. By having these just steps from your kitchen door, you're not just cooking by passing the expense of dried-out herbs from the store, you're practicing preventative medicine. The expert takeaway for a lifetime of harvest. The biggest mistake people make is being too gentle. These plants want to be used. Regular harvesting acts as pruning, encouraging the plant to grow bushier and preventing it from becoming too woody. Every 2 or 3 years, you can even divide the roots or take cuttings to create entirely new plants for free. Integrated into your flower beds or as a dedicated herb garden, these perennials provide year-round beauty, incredible fragrance, and a permanent supply of gourmet flavor. A small, well-maintained herb patch can easily yield around 2 to 5 plantulures of fresh herbs per year, depending on how often you harvest. It's the smartest, easiest investment any gardener can make. 5. Blueberries. The blue diamond of the garden. We've saved one of the most rewarding for last, blueberries. In the gardening world, blueberries are often called the crown jewels. Not only do they provide a harvest of the most nutrient-dense fruit on the planet, but they also double as stunning ornamental shrubs. In the spring, they're covered in delicate white flowers, and in the fall, their foliage turns a brilliant, fiery red. Climate is the key to your success. Blueberries are incredibly diverse. If you're in the colder north, you'll want northern highbush varieties, which thrive in USDA zones 3 through 7. If you're in the south or southwest, look for southern highbush or rabbit eye varieties, which are bred for zones 7 through 10. Like asparagus, most blueberries need chill hours during the winter to set fruit, so matching the variety to your local climate is the first step toward a massive harvest. Blueberries are world-renowned for their high levels of anthocyanins, antioxidants that support brain health and fight aging. But here's the gardener's secret. Store-bought blueberries are often bred for shippability rather than flavor or nutrition. When you grow them yourself, you can choose varieties that are incredibly sweet and intense, and you can harvest them at the peak of their nutritional value. Blueberries have one non-negotiable requirement: acidic soil. They need a pH between 4.5 and 5.5. If your soil is too alkaline, the plant simply cannot absorb nutrients. I always recommend testing your soil first and amending it with elemental sulfur or peat moss. Give them acidic soil, consistent moisture, and a layer of pine bark mulch, and these shrubs will produce for 50 years. 50 years or more. A small group of plants can easily provide 20 to 30 polymelons annually. It's not just a plant. It's a long-term supply of one of the most valuable superfoods you can grow at home. As we've seen today, gardening isn't just about what you can harvest this weekend. It's about the legacy you're building for the decades to come. By choosing these 5 perennial powerhouses, you're stepping away from the cycle of constant replanting and moving toward a self-sustaining ecosystem that grows more valuable every single year. Remember, the best time to plant a perennial was 10 years ago, but best time is today. Your future self and your grandkids will thank you for the work you put into the soil this season. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these permanent crops are you planning to add to your space first? Or do you already have a 20-year-old asparagus bed or a thriving berry patch? Let's share our experiences in the comments below so we can all grow together. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. We're here to help you turn every square inch of your home into a productive, healthy sanctuary. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy planting.